In life, it's important to know when to stop arguing with people and simply let them be wrong. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Zareth Prevails. Today, we're going to talk about what to farm next. This is a kind of semi-monthly series. I think this is more like a month and a half or something. It still barely fits the requirements because the last one I did was at the start of June. But lots to talk about, of course, lots of new updates to this game. A huge shout out to my patrons, by the way. You guys are amazing. Thank you guys so much for your support. I really, truly couldn't do this without you guys. And if you want to support this channel for free, folks, all you can do is hit that thumbs up button, like, subscribe, comment. Please mount the algorithm. Please mount the algorithm. Let's all chant together. Let's not. And if you want to get your roster reviewed, folks, look at the graphic here. Follow the instructions. Get the ball rolling. This price is only good through the end of July. As long as you get me the information, I will, you know, even if it goes into August. Obviously, we'll do this. The price is going to increase at the end of this month, however. So, much appreciated for all of the support, guys. And if I haven't gotten back to you for a while, feel free to hit me up if you need to. So, I'm getting them done. It's the queue is actually quite impressive. You guys have been so supportive. Thank you. So let's talk about what's going on with this. Like, what are we trying to do with this guide, with this video that we do recurring? And the idea is, I mean, even as much as this is a character collector game, this is much more of like a resource management game, right? Like that, if we're just being real about it, that's basically what it is. And so we're trying to get as much stuff as we can, as much gear, as much, you know, stuff, relic level material stuff. And we also want to stay relevant. Like, just because we're farming stuff, we're gearing up characters. Like, if they're crap characters, then you're not relevant. Like, oh, cool. Like, you have Relic 9 on Jawas. Like, interesting choice there. You're not relevant. And then be efficient when we can. More and more, this game is moving toward we can't play efficient and still win. Like, trying to farm all the new stuff, which is kind of what the game is gearing us up for, like just kind of pushing us toward, you know, working on new stuff. You can't be efficient every time. It's just not really that possible. So we do want to do it when possible, however. And of course, the most important game modes are the ones that are going to get you crystals. So that's the current, or a lot of gear, right? Like stuff, places where we can find a ton of gear. Or other materials. So the current raid is always just crazy important, guys. It's extremely important. You need Mark III to be able to get all those high level relic pieces. You need to be able to then Fleet Arena. You need to be able to get the top score, or the top place, so that you can actually and get crystals. And then of course everything else. So Fleet Arena, I keep all these slides in here because eventually they're going to be relevant. And honestly, if this is the first time you've seen one of these videos, you can hopefully get something out of it. So just a reminder, of course, Leviathan, Profundity, Executor. And actually, I think I made a mistake here. I think Executor is actually better than Profundity, guys. I mean, they're all pretty close, but I think Executor is just better, frankly. But otherwise, we haven't had a fleet update at all. Like, no, we haven't had a new ship. We haven't had, like, the promise of, like, I don't know how we're just getting nothing at all right now, but it's been 286 days since the last fleet update. It's almost been a year, and CG doesn't know what they're doing with it, and yet it remains one of the most important game modes out there. And I mean, my alt keeps waiting for them to release a new fleet so I can go for that fleet instead of Leviathan, and I've just finally had to say F it, I'm working on Leviathan, so that's what I'm doing. It's important. So the current raid, I mean, this is really this is the month, right? Like last month and this month, this is when we get all prepped for the raid. And unfortunately, I've been out of my house, out of the my ability to make videos about the raid for the most part. So we will be making those now that I'm mostly back for good here. Now that summer has mostly come to stop for me in terms of how busy I am. But we still have, according to CG, another 11 months or so of this raid. This is the time to work on characters for the raid, guys. This is the time to do it. We don't want to stop yet. You can see we're tracking how long it lasted for Endor raid versus Naboo raid versus Order 66. This one started on the 25th of June, and so it's been going for about a month. And we're starting to learn all the teams, which is nice. The current raid teams. Now, this is probably a place you'll want to come back to, at least potentially. I know I reference it at least one other time in this video, but I think the number one team that you really want, most people are going to want to work on, guys, it's not the new Bad Batch. Unfortunately, they're a tricky team to use at the high levels, the low levels. Like, you're not going to get a full perfect score unless you remod and do all sorts of cool stuff, which you should probably end up doing that anyways at some point. But the number one team, in my opinion, as long as you have access to Jocasta Nu, is this Keller and Beck team. Like, get them to Relic 8 because they're all useful characters, right? Like, Ayla and Jocasta you're going to want eventually for the Mace team, and they really want high relics anyways. And then Shaak Ti, I mean, sure, you don't need her at 8, but she is a very helpful character. She's one of the characters that just keeps coming up as useful consistently, has a ton of teams she wants to be on. And Keller and Beck is great in Territory Wars. He's great in, I mean, 2 raids in a row. And it sounds like they're not going to fix Keller and Beck. They said that they're leaving all the raid teams alone for now, which that could just mean the smaller teams, the ones that only have 4 characters in them or less. But I think they also mean that Keller and Beck and his team is safe. So that's the one I would work on, guys. The Keller, because it's cheap and it's like, it's just super consistent. And I actually have a video on it if you guys want to go check it out. I'll put it in the video description if I remember. Otherwise, just search for it. It's easy. Keller and Beck, Order 66, something like that. Zareth with an X. Anyways, the clones with Tarkin. Guys, I'm probably going to put out a video on just how to beat the raid with just the Tarkin team. I'm not like the full 5-man team. If you really want to, you can do Tarkin with Scorch. You can find videos on how to do that, and you can restart over and over and over again. And I would just say, for your quality of life, for your sanity, I would just recommend not doing that for a full year, having to reset all the time just to get your max score. If you want to do that, that is up to you, and I'm not going to judge you for it out loud, but I will just say that it's a fairly miserable existence when you can just get a pretty nice 2.7 and just not have to worry about it, especially once we get another pirate team to add to our collection here, which who knows what the pirate team's going to do. I mean, we just, that's the dumbest thing. We're just waiting. Like, hey, look at that. We got Captain Ithano. He's the lead. He sucks, though. And so does all the pirates that go with him. So, anyways, those are the teams. Obviously, we're going to have another pirate team eventually with Galactic Legend Hondo. We'll update this graphic as that comes in. But we'll talk about the Mace team in a little bit. I would just say, like, in order of like trying to work on these teams, if you have limited resources, which we all do for the most part, I would work on the Keller and Beck team, then probably the Bad Batch team, and then finally the Tarkin team, just because the Tarkin team is so crazy expensive, and it's going to take a while to farm everything. If you already have them farmed, then yeah, sure, the clones are pretty good. And then I did repurpose this graphic. I actually, from the last time I made this, the raid hadn't been released yet, and so this is just kind of the predictions of, like, if you do 15 hard node attempts daily on refreshes for each of the new characters that are released, like Bad Batch would be completed by July 15th, so, which I think that bore out pretty well, actually. The Tarkin clones you'll probably have completed sometime in September, mid-September. And then for the Mace Windu Jedi, the thing that kind of sucks about this that I didn't really take into consideration is Windu was released way before any of his any of his guys were farmable, or maybe a couple of them were, but for the most part, like, you can't farm the two Jedi that go with him, Depa and the Temple Guard. You just can't even farm them yet. Eventually, like in a month or so, they'll be farmable. By the time that happens, you'll have a month to farm them before his second event comes out. And so, unless you've already worked on Temple Guard and Depa quite a bit, you're not going to make the September unlock. For the most part, people should plan to unlock him in December, which sucks. It feels bad, but that's kind of just how you need to plan it. And so otherwise, the pirate unlocks will go all the way through September 9th, and then we won't really be able to use them until sometime in December or maybe even January, which is halfway through the raid. So, I mean, you're going to have to determine how important having all of the raid teams are. We're going to talk about how important Hondo is in a little bit, but that's just something you're going to have to track on your own. Like, how many points do you really want to score in this new raid? At some point, you kind of got to put the raid aside and be working on other things. Though gladly, a lot of the things we want to be working on coincide with the characters that we're using for this raid. So anyways, the Maz Kanata's coming. Woohoo! She's great. So Rise of the Empire hasn't been updated for a long time either, and that's not really a complaint by me, because frankly, the more things you unlock, the more awesome stuff you unlock, the more time you have to spend on Rise of the Empire. It's a fairly frustrating circumstance, guys. Like, I don't know. They've got to address that at some point. I think they said that they would, which I guess we'll wait and see. That's what we're doing. But you can use this little graphic here to I'm going to make a video actually of ranking all the Rise of the Empire teams in order of importance. I've been very surprised at how many people are interested in that. So that's something I'll be looking into here pretty soon, I think. Now, as I'm going to be putting out 4 or 5 videos a week, that'll be great. The new assault battles, I mean, they're not that new at this point, but look, guys, there's nothing easier in this game, there's nothing nicer in this game than the sim button. It's wonderful. So once you get your guys up to relic 7 or 9, then you can just get the awesome rewards. And honestly, if you can get, like as a stretch goal, get Padawan and Master Qui-Gon up to relic 9, which, I mean, don't feel like you have to, but if you do, it's pretty nice rewards, honestly, and you won't really regret it that much, even if you do it for the zombie bros either, because they're all very useful characters. Enoch, not as much, but you always find a use, almost always find a use for the other ones, the non-Enoch zombie bros. So should you be working on Ahsoka or Balin? We've had this graphic up for a while. I'll probably keep it up for a while. I mean, I'm not going to recap briefly here. The thing is, Ahsoka and Balin, I think they had a raid planned, and they just didn't end up getting to be in that raid. And so now there's not an event in the game that they go with. They're just kind of there as, like, you know, they're good teams, they're good characters, they're, like, in the order of strength of things, like, they fit in fairly highly, but they're expensive and crazy tough to get, and then you don't get anything other than, like, some good teams, which is great. It's great to have these good teams, but they're just not, they're certainly not mid-game characters or pieces, in my opinion. Like, maybe Balin, because his requirements are kind of friendly in a lot of ways for other teams that you want to be working on. But, like, Ahsoka, she is good. It's just, she's not even, like, great on defense. She gets beat by a few different teams. It's very sad. So, really kind of a sad state of affairs for those releases. Galactic Legend Hondo, he seems like he's going to be on a better level in terms of usefulness in this game. We don't know much about him, of course. See, we don't have his kit. We don't even have his full team yet, but we'll just kind of assume that he's going to be as strong as Galactic Legend Ahsoka, which is strong enough, in my opinion. That's pretty good. or other like as long as he's Galactic Legend level, he'll be good. But the really important factor here, folks, is he can be used in the raid, and he's gonna have an event afterward, the Smuggler's Run 3, that if it's anything like Smuggler's Run 2, you're gonna want to scramble to get him, because Smuggler's Run 3 will hopefully give us materials that are really important. I don't know what they're gonna give us for it, but if it's anything like Smuggler's Run 2, you're going to want him just for that. Just the passive stuff that you get with the sim button that I told you was so important previously. Focus Datacrons there's a couple new Datacrons, Focus Datacrons, that are only upgradable to level 9 now. I'll put out a video probably tomorrow about these, and we'll talk about their relative usefulness. Who knows? I don't think most people aren't really upgrading all 4 of the level 15 Focus Datacrons, so they just reduced their price a little bit so that people would engage more and buy the pack more, the pass. Lord Vader is... everyone's gonna ask me this, and we'll keep this graphic up for a few more months. Like, should we drop everything and work on Lord Vader because he has good clones? And I would just say, remember, if you're farming Lord Vader, he's gonna take a long time to get. He's still like the second most expensive Galactic Legend. And once you get him, you don't even have your team. You have to farm 4 new marquees and gear them up, and then you'll have your team, and it'll be good, but it'll be really, really expensive. So I don't know how much he really shifts the priority level that much. A little bit maybe. So what things should you prioritize? Like I said before, the Keller and Beck team, raid team, is just really good. In my opinion, it's the most efficient and effective way to get a good score for your guild without spending an enormous amount of time doing refreshes and not having, you don't have to farm a whole lot of things, as long as you can get that whatever her name is, Jocasta New. And then pirates seem like something you should at least keep an eye on. I know everyone's fatigued from like so many marquees being released, and we just got Mace, and we got like all these different things. And I mean, do what you want, of course, but it just seems like pirates might end up being pretty important just for Hondo with Smuggler's Run 3. Like, you want to kind of keep like close, right, within striking distance, sort of, if possible, with the pirates, even if you don't care about them for the raid. I feel like Smuggler's Run 3 is potentially very strong. And then Bad Batch, if I'm just being the most honest, I kind of think they're just going to be useful for a while and then just kind of wane, kind of like the first Bad Batch. I mean, they just don't seem like they're going to be that special. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. But it just doesn't seem like they're going to be like, oh, yeah, I used Bad Batch. You know, this the year 2028, and I'm using Bad Batch still. Like, I just don't know. I feel like people will be like, oh, cool. Like, they're on the bench still. Yep. And they're not getting an update anytime soon. So we'll see. They're also kind of a frustrating team to use in the current raid. Put out a video on those guys eventually as well, after they did their update. Dang it. And the new Mace seems like he's pretty good. I've used him in the new territory battle. He does just destroy things on auto. He's really strong. You don't need the Omicron for him or anything. You just wreck teams. It's a lot of fun. It seems like he's pretty good in territory wars. He seems pretty good. GAC, he seems mid a little bit, but it seems like a useful character overall. Like, probably a worthy legendary, though he is one of the most expensive legendary characters we've ever had. So just some things to keep in mind. So other farms, you can see these things are all linked in the video description. Go check them out. And otherwise, folks, I'm gonna let you go. What do you think we should be farming? What's important to be farming right now? Like, I just think pause everything and work on the raid for a couple months, in my opinion. I think that should be part of every player's like kind of cycle of farming a little, but I could be wrong. Let me know, guys. Thank you all so much for watching, and remember that in all things, Zareth prevails. Take care, folks.